Okay, so the screencast assignment is by address, and I will just get right to it. So, Shakespearean language consists of three parts: iambic pentameter, also known as blank verse, rhymed verse, and prose. The iambic pentameter consists of 5 poetic feet. This poetic feet consists of 2 sound units, where the first sound unit is unstressed and the second unit is stressed. These sound units can also be described as 2 syllables, which creates a couplet. It sounds somewhat like this: dum dee dum dee dum dee dum dee dum dee. I will start reading from the first part where Duke Orsino has his monologue. This monologue is primarily blank verse, and blank verse is normally used by Shakespeare to describe the upper class in an indirect way. So if there's someone speaking with blank verse, they are mostly upper class. Okay. If music be the food of love, play on. Give me excess of it, that surfeiting. The appetite may sicken, and so die. That strain again it had a dying fall. Oh, it came o'er my ear like the sweet sound that breathes upon a bank of violets, stealing and giving odor enough no more. This not so sweet now as it was before. O spirit of love, how quick and fresh art thou, that notwithstanding thy capacity, receiveth as the sea naught enters there, of what validity and pitch so were, but falls into abatement and low price. Even in a minute so full of shapes is fancy, that it alone is high fantastical. In the second last line there is used prose. Now we know that something is up. I'll explain this in a second. Another trademark of Shakespearean language is the rhymed verse. It usually consists of couplets as well. So AABB rhymes. If the lines has a different kind of language, something is going on or something is going to happen. So if it shifts from blank verse to rhymed verse, something is up. It could also be as in line 27, where there's a shift from blank verse to prose. Yeah, it could also be a shift from rhymed verse to prose. At any point where the language shifts, there is something up in the story. There's a turning point. Yeah. Prose is being used when the lower class or comic characters are speaking. But it's not like this every time, and sometimes it's just being used to make the characters feel more natural. And at last, something about humor, which is a sort of a trademark for Shakespeare. And first, there are three kinds of there are three kinds of humor: behavioral humor, situational humor, and verbal humor. And the first is behavioral humor. The behavioral humor can be seen when Sir Toby Belch is half drunk, or maybe completely drunk. This is funny due to him being a sir. Him behaving in a funny way leads us to verbal humor. Here, Sir Toby mishears what Olivia says. She says, cousin, how are you some, sorry, again. Cousin, how have you come so early by this lethargy? She says lethargy, which means being lazy. So Toby misunderstands this, and therefore he responds with, lechery, I defy lechery. There's one at the gates. Lechery meaning being horny. This is verbal humor due to some funny wordplay, somewhat a pun, and this is verbal humor. Yeah. At the end of the text, situational humor comes into play, when the clown certainly is the wise one. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah, here it is. Okay. Where the clown is suddenly the wise one. This situation is funny due to the juxtaposition of him being a clown. It is not behavioral humor because he's not acting like a clown. He's dressed up as a clown but not being the clown. And that is what makes this situation somewhat odd, but it's also funny. Yeah. That's what I have. Thanks for listening.